Everybody. I'm Pamela Sanchez. I'm the president and CEO of the Seneca Park Zoo Society, and we are happy to be here this afternoon to give you an update on all things zoo. I'm going to turn this over to David in a second, and he's going to share a bit of an animal update and some things that are happening at the zoo while we're closed, and then he'll turn it back over to me. And I'll share with you some things, some tips, and some resources that we're providing for the general public during this time when we're closed, trying to keep people connected to nature and active in their own homes. So David, over to you.
Hi everybody. I appreciate you being here. I wish that everybody was here at the zoo. It's a beautiful day out there, and we would love to have tons of visitors out there enjoying the sunshine and enjoying the animals. But at this time, we are taking some special precautions for the animals. I'll kind of tell you how our day starts out here. We have a health check each morning, so all the staff that are coming into the zoo get a health screening and answer some questions, and then get a temperature check, and then go about their day, which is staying socially distant from the animals in most cases, and wearing masks when they're around the animals. We're being careful not to do anything unnecessary with the animals. We are still training some of them, but staying further back from the majority of them. We are providing them lots of enrichment, lots of attention from afar, and giving them lots of activities. So it is a different kind of experience out here at the zoo without all our visitors. Some of the animals are more active. Some of them are very interested when keepers walk by or other staff walk by in front of the exhibit, and they actually follow us. Like I was down at the lions this morning, and they were following me and kind of paying more attention to me than normal. We'll have to see how things go once we have lots of visitors out here, to see if they kind of got used to the quietness, but we'll see how that goes. We'll kind of ease them back into all of the hustle and bustle that we expect here at Seneca Park Zoo during our spring and summer seasons. One of our newest animals that we have here at the zoo is Ashki, the North American river otter, and we brought her in just before the lockdown, and then started slowly introducing her to Sailor, our male North American river otter, and started working with them, getting them used to each other, sharing the exhibit at opposite times. We introduced her online to our zoo community, and then last week we introduced them to each other, and that went along very great. They are very interested in each other, very playful, chasing each other around, even napping together. So we are very happy that everything went so well with this river otter introduction. The zoo is continuing to go. The keepers have to keep up with their cleaning of the animal habitats. They have lots of work to do. Even though we are kind of cutting back on our staff, we cut back to about 62% of our staff that's here in day to day, and taking care of the animals and trying to maintain their social distances from each other, and being safe when they're at home, because we really don't want to bring this into the zoo and spread it amongst our staff. So we are all being very careful in that regard. Pamela, I'll turn it over to you for what the Zoo Society has been doing.
Sure. Thanks, David. So when we closed the zoo on, I believe March 13th was our last day that we were open to the public, the Zoo Society went into action on what can we do for our community at a time that they can't come visit us? How do we stay a resource for them? And a really needed resource. So many parents are home with children looking for activities to do. So many adults are feeling really isolated right now and are looking for something to do. So we created a resource online called Zoo Projects at Home. And you can find it by going straight to our website, website, senecaparkzoo.org. It's the pop-up page right now. And there you will find activities for everyone from toddlers to senior citizens. You'll find arts and crafts activities through STEAM-based and New York State Next Gen standards for education for high school kids. You will find reading recommendations from our staff for adults. There really is everything from animal yoga to being a part of our Urban Wildlife Information Network and becoming a citizen scientist. Lots of different opportunities for people to stay connected to nature and to continue to view the zoo as really a resource for everything related to nature and wildlife. And so we really encourage people to go to the Zoo Projects at Home page. We are releasing a new activity every day at 11 a.m. It goes up on our website and on our Facebook page. And so that happens every day, every weekday, I should say, so Monday through Friday. And this is a great time to become a follower of the zoo on Facebook and Instagram, because you'll be able to stay in touch and see pictures and video of the animals that you love, as well as get the latest news and up-to-date resources that you can use in your own home. Today is this week is a very special week. Wednesday is the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. And we had a number of really great activities planned for on-site to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. We do celebrate it each year. This year we're celebrating it at home, and we are bringing you Earth Day to you. There are programs all day long that you can tune into, everything from watching some animal enrichment at the zoo related to Earth Day, to learning how to do a macroinvertebrate sort, to learning how to bird at home with June Summers from the Audubon Society. And then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we're having a live conversation with Dr. Drew Lanham and myself. Drew is a noted ornithologist, author, also known as the Black Birder. And we're going to talk about what it means that there's Earth Day during a pandemic and how we can find hope in nature. So we really hope that people will tune in to the zoo on Wednesday, on Earth Day. And then this coming Saturday is Penguin Awareness Day. And so we're doing a virtual Penguin Awareness Day. There'll be lots of activities. Again, you can access them primarily through our Facebook page, and you can find access to them on our website as well. So dates to mark in your calendar: Wednesday for Earth Day and Saturday for Penguin Day. I also want to say that now is a time that our members are more important than ever. Because our members help support the care and feeding of our animals and of our animal care staff, as well as the Zoo Society staff that's creating all of these projects at home. So membership is an incredibly important resource. We don't have money coming in the gate right now through admissions or through food or the gift shop. So people maintaining their memberships is really a critical resource for us. And as a thank you to those who join now or who renew their memberships now, they'll actually get 14 months of membership rather than 12 months.
Open it up to questions. I have Jonathan Hunter from Spectrum first on the list, followed by 13 WHAM if there is anyone who wants to ask a question. I'm not sure what happened to anyone from Spectrum. I'm going to unmute you here. All right, is anyone from?
Can you hear me?
13 WHAM that would like to ask a question? Yes. We heard you a moment ago.
Are you there? Hold on.
Yes, go ahead.
This is Jonathan from Spectrum. Sorry, something must have been all messed up on my end. Basically, obviously, you know, everything's closed now because of social distancing measures. But when the park does open, is there like a plan in place to, you know, now like you gradually let visitors come back, you know, under the social distancing guidelines?
We're working on the plan, and that nothing is decided yet as to what we would do. There's lots of different opportunities, different things that we could do for the zoo. We will be kind of benchmarking with other zoos across the country as they reopen too, to see what measures that we need to take.
And I would just add to that that we're looking into options to keep the queues down at the front gate, as well as keeping social distance in the zoo shop. And when people order food at concession stands, we're looking at alternative protocols for handling money and credit cards and membership and all of that, so that people know that the zoo is a really safe place to visit in a post-corona world.
And then I guess,
Jonathan, do you have a follow-up?
yes, I do. Yeah, one follow-up. And I guess, obviously, a couple of weeks ago, obviously in one zoo, there was an animal that did get the coronavirus. Is there, I guess, a fear or caution that you guys could maybe, transmit the coronavirus to an animal or vice versa?
We are concerned about that. Watched what was going on at the other zoo. We are, and we're taking precautions beforehand. Increased our precautions around other animals, such as the big cats, the snow leopards that we have, the lions and tigers. We are being extra cautious now around them, just in case that could be transmitted. We are trying to make sure that all the staff is healthy in the first place, and then wearing gloves, washing our hands before we prepare food, while we're in the exhibit, wearing masks when we're around the animals, and not being right up real close to the animals.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan. Again, I'm going to give 13 WAM an opportunity. I don't believe you have a reporter on, but we'll give you a few seconds here if you do have a question. And after that, we'll move on to Ray from WHEC or anyone else from WHEC that might have a question. All right, let's move on from WAM to WHEC.
Hi there, folks. How are you? Good. So just wanted to ask, I know we talked about it a little bit, you're seeing some interesting things from the animals without, spectators there. I was wondering if you could just kind of elaborate on that. I know we've seen at some other zoos, mating has possibly increased because there's, not people around. What are some of the interesting things you've kind of seen come out of the animals with nobody around at the zoo?
One thing that I've noticed lately has been that the wolves have been howling more than they did in the past. I don't know whether that's because they don't have the kids out there howling at them, or whether the community is kind of quieter and they can pick up on sounds further out in the neighborhoods. The giraffe seem more interested when I'm down there. They will really take notice of me when I'm there. The lions, as I noticed earlier, are really interested in staff as they walk by. The sea lions were always very interested in people at the glass and interacting with them there. So anytime that they have a few minutes, then the staff will stop by there and interact with them.
Okay, do you have a follow-up, Ray?
Sure. And just so, when people start coming back, to the zoo, what do you think that's going to mean for the animals and how they'll interact with people that are there?
We'll have to see whether they get used to it being really quiet and then they're timid right at first, or what. But I think the animals are picking up on a difference, that it is quieter than normal, and then hopefully they will be very interested when people return. I'm sure it won't be kind of like a big floodgate opening, that it'll be kind of like a smaller amounts of people coming in. One thing with the otters, they are very interested in people now, and I'm sure that the visitors will enjoy all the interactions with Ashki, our new otter.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Next, we have Dan Gross from WROC, and then Alex Crichton from WXXI.
Howdy. Hope you guys are all doing well and hanging in there. You said earlier that you're keeping on 62% of your day-to-day employees. So, I mean, that's 40% of employees that aren't working there day-to-day. Are they still there part-time? And then of that, like 40%, are those mainly people in the office, people who are working with, the people who actually come into the park? Can you give us more of a breakdown of, the 40% of people who aren't there day to day and what they might be doing?
So this was for the county staff. So we cut back on some of the keepers' schedules and adjusted how the days that they were working. And some of our facility staff, since we weren't having to clean the bathrooms all the time, then we were able to cut back on that. Some of the administration adjusted their days. So a total number of man hours actually here at the zoo on the county side from week to week was cut back to about 62%. No one's been laid off. No one has anything like that from the staff wise has happened. But they just are working from home or have a different schedule.
Got it. This is kind of a follow-up because it's related. I mean, you're talking about how memberships are really important now. I know that the amount of time that we have for this thing to be over and then come back into it, do you foresee a point coming up soon where the lack of funding coming in from admissions or food is really going to affect staffing? Is that an immediate concern? Do you think you'll be able to hang in there for a while for more of the longer term?
It's a really good question, Dan. And I think, we are constantly assessing where we are financially and what special fundraisers that the Zoo Society can do to bring in additional funds. What we know from research is that the zoo will be among the first places that people want to visit. The zoos and botanic gardens are seen as places that will be safe and trusted, that when the world reopens, people will want to begin to explore and feel safe doing so. So we think because this happened early enough in the season, that if we're able to open up for the bulk of our season, that we will be okay. Now, we don't know what restrictions there will be, if we're going to have to cap the number of people that come every day. So it's a constant daily forecasting of what's needed. At this point, we are not projecting layoffs at the Zoo Society, but it just depends on how long this lasts and how the community responds to our fundraising efforts and how they respond coming back to the zoo when we're ready to be open.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. And now we have Alex Crichton from WXXI and then Jimmy from WBEE. If you're on, you'll be after Alex.
Actually, I have no questions at this time. Thanks.
Hi, Alex. We can't hear you.
No.
You've got cut.
Let me try again. I have no questions at this time. Not working.
I can hear you, Alex.
Oh, okay. I have no questions. Thanks.
Okay. Looks like Julie is frozen. Who was the next person?
It might have been, is Jimmy on from WBEE? We can't unmute him though. There, she's back.
Okay.
Sorry, I disappeared. Everybody still here?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. We were looking for Victoria Relay from Democrat and Chronicle. Do you have any questions?
I'm okay, but thank you. Did I freeze? I'm not sure if anybody heard me.
I heard you, Victoria. Thank you.
Okay. Nobody responded, so I just didn't know.
Looks like Julie's frozen again. Is there any other questions? Anybody else that didn't get a chance yet?
I think only Julie can unmute them.
David, can you hear me?
Ah, Alex is on.
Hi. David, could you run through those staffing numbers again? I don't quite understand again. What the 62% refers to?
So we had a total number of man hours and of staff that were here week to week, and we cut that back to just the super essential. So basically each area of the zoo, each animal area of the zoo, we have 4 keepers that are here each day. And instead of, if maybe it would have been 6 people, that was cut back to 4. And so we have 3 animal areas of the zoo and we also have a facilities portion of the zoo, and the total number of man hours per week was cut back 38% to 62%.
Okay, thank you.
But they're all still either working from home, keepers are doing research, doing their online continuing education, things like that. That they are still working, but just not in person.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Looks like Julie's been froze again. Am I seeing that
Yeah.
as well? Okay.
Yes.
Hi, this is Sarah Hansen, the Director of Marketing at the zoo. Julie just let me know that her internet went out and she apologized to all of you. Wanted to see if there are any other questions and you can't get off mute, you can certainly shoot an email to social media at senecazoo.org and we'll do our best to answer any unanswered questions. Also, if anybody is looking for any B-roll animal footage or animal photos that you'd like for your stories, feel free to email, once again, social media at senecazoo.org, and we'll get back to you as quickly as possible. And so I guess without any further ado, thank you so much for coming, everyone, and participating in this. And if you have questions, we'll keep an eye out for them at social media at senecazoo.org. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Thank you, everybody.